What's up everyone? Zach here from the RWC, continuing our Mobility Monday series. So today I'm going to take you guys through a series of stretches focusing on our foot and ankle, our lower leg, and even getting up into our thigh and into our hip. Each stretch we're going to be holding for about 2 minutes, 90 seconds to 2 minutes, so a little bit longer. I really want you guys to take your time focusing on breathing through each position and trying to relax into each stretch, not trying to fight it. It's better to feel a little gentle stretch than to try and overdo it. You don't need any equipment to complete this, but if you have something like a yoga block, something similar to prop your foot up on that can be convenient, as well as I have the foam roller here, but you can use anything again just to lean on. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Our first one, if we're on our mat, is a plantar fascia stretch, so getting into the bottom of our feet. So I'm going to tuck my toes underneath me, and I'm just going to sit back until I get a nice stretch through my feet here. You're gonna wanna do both feet at the same time. I just hurt my big toe on my left foot, so we're only gonna do this right side. And I just wanna sit back until I'm getting a nice stretch through the bottom of my feet here. If this is too severe, I can lean forward and take a little bit of the weight off, or I can use this block up here, something to lean into just a little bit. The farther I lean back, the stronger that stretch is gonna be through our bottom of our foot. So we're about 30 seconds in. We're gonna go for another 90. Really focusing on breathing in through our nose, breathing out through our mouth, nice and relaxed. Wanting to take your time in here, wanting to sink into this stretch. As we go through these stretches, every 30 seconds or so, you want to see if you can sink back just a little bit deeper into each position, trying to open up a little bit more range. Again, not trying to force anything. None of these should feel too painful or uncomfortable. One other thing to focus on with this one is making sure I'm staying on that big toe, not letting my foot roll out to the side and avoiding it. Stay nice and evenly distributed. I'm gonna go for another 30 seconds here. Good. As we come out of that stretch, I'm now gonna let my toes go flat and I'm gonna sit down onto my feet. So now I'm getting the top side of my foot and ankle rather than the bottom. Again, just as before, the more I lean back, the stronger that stretch is gonna be. The more I lean forward and take my weight off, the less strong that stretch is gonna be. So find what position is most appropriate for you. Hang out. Breathing again, that's going to be something we come back to through every position. We're going to go here for about 90 more seconds. If you start to feel more comfortable with this one, you can start to sit up a little bit, prop yourself up on something nearby, whatever feels comfortable. Going for about 30 more seconds here. Good. So coming out of that, our feet and ankles should be nice and loose. We're going to move up the chain just a little bit, get into our calf and our Achilles. So we want to take our yoga block, we're going to prop it up against the wall. Again, if you don't have anything like this, you can literally just wear a pair of shoes and prop it up against the wall, and you'll be able to get the same stretch. So I'm going to put that around a 45 degree, put one foot up against it, and I'm going to try and press my knee forward towards the wall until I feel a stretch down through my Achilles and up into my calf. Again, we're going to hold each position for 90 seconds on each side. The closer I push my knee and my hips towards the wall, the stronger the stretch is going to feel. The more I push my hips back, the less of a stretch I'm going to feel. As we get good at this stretch, we want to think about contracting our tibialis, the muscle in the front of our shin. So thinking about pulling the top of your foot towards your shin, and that's going to pull you even deeper into the stretch. Got about 15 more seconds on this side before we change legs. Good, so we're going to come off of that, go to the opposite side, same thing. Top of our foot is on the block, resting our heel on the floor. Trying to push our knee and our hip towards the wall until I get a nice stretch through my calf, through my Achilles. As you really get good at this stretch and as you start to loosen up, you're going to start to feel that stretch less and less in your calf, and especially in your upper calf. It's going to start to transition down to the lower half and even into that Achilles tendon. Again, thinking about breathing nice and deeply in through my nose, exhaling nice and slow, trying to relax into each position. Thinking about contracting that muscle in the front of my shin, pulling my top of my foot towards my shin, pulling myself deeper into the stretch. Good, so as we come out of our calf stretch, now we're just going to move up a little bit higher to the back of our leg, to our hamstring. So this is the second of our standing stretches. I'm going to take the yoga block, leave it flat on the floor, prop one foot up so it's about at a 45 degree, and then keeping this leg straight, I'm going to fold forward, reach my head for my knee, trying to keep this leg locked out. Getting a nice gentle stretch. This one's easy to overdo, so make sure I'm staying relaxed, not forcing anything too deep. I'm going to start off most likely feeling something right here in the back of my knee. See if you can relax, ease into it, get it deeper into my hamstring. If you need something a little bit taller to prop yourself up for balance, can use that as well.
reach my chest for my thigh, trying to reach my head for my knee. Got another minute here. Gonna take our time with this one. Again, starting to get just a little bit deeper. When I really get good at this stretch, I'm gonna start to feel it creep all the way up into my glute. Try to stay relaxed. Breathe nice and slow.
Good. Coming out of this one, I'm going to stand up, shake it out, and then go to the other side. Again, foot's around that 45, leg stays straight, folding forward, reaching my head for my knee. 2 more minutes on this side. Same cues, trying to breathe nice and relaxed, making sure I don't overdo it at the start. Slowly starting to sink just a little bit deeper. Reach my hips back. Last few seconds, couple more deep breaths. Good. So spent a lot of time on the back of our legs, so now we want to move to the front, to our quad and to our hip flexors. So for this one, we can use the wall. We can use a couch, works really well as well, or a bed. The wall, when I put my shin up against it, is going to have the added stretch through my ankle and through the front of my shin. If that's uncomfortable, a couch or a bed where my ankle is more relaxed might be more comfortable. The one other thing is the wall can be pretty hard, so I'm going to fold up my mat, put it up against there, so I have a little bit more cushion. So once that's set up, I'm going to put both feet against the wall. I'm going to slide one knee all the way up, flush against the wall. The closer that knee is to the wall, the more challenging the stretch is going to become. From here, I'm going to post up on this left foot. Some of you guys might feel a stretch already through my hip flexor and through my quads. That's okay. From here, this is where it's really helpful to have something to balance on, to hold myself up. I want to sit up tall. Breathing, trying to push my hips forward, making sure I'm not arching here, but keeping my hips tucked underneath me. I'm gonna feel a big stretch through my quad and through my hip flexor. Slowly trying to reach my hips and my shoulders back towards the wall. Gonna spend another 90 seconds here, sorry. The quads and the hip flexors in particular get very tight from sitting down in chairs, sitting at a desk all day. So this is a really good one to open those up, restore some range of motion. A good goal is to, one, get my hips to my heel, and then as I really start to get good, start to get my shoulders against the wall. Again, especially the ones that are a little bit more uncomfortable, a little bit more challenging. Really important to stay relaxed, breathe through each position. Another 45 seconds here. Good, a couple more deep breaths before we change sides. Good, so coming out of that, we're going to switch sides. So same setup, start with both of your feet against the wall. Slide one knee back, trying to get as flush up to the wall as we can. Post up on our other leg. Again, you can stay here if you need to, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, we can come up. If you don't have something to balance on or to hold yourself up, you can put both hands on your knee as well, just to prop yourself up. Slowly working our way back, getting a big stretch down the front of that leg. Another good thing to think about is squeezing our glute on that side. That's going to push our hips forward. Make sure we get a nice big stretch down that leg. Going to spend another 90 seconds here. Last 30 seconds. Breathe through. Good. So coming out of that, we've got 2 more stretches and then we're done. Starting to get more into our hips now. So we've worked our way up from our feet, through our lower leg, through our thighs. This one, we're now starting to get into the outside of our hip, into our glutes. So this one's our 90-90 pigeon stretch. So we're gonna start in this 90-90 position. One leg's bent at 90 degrees in front, one leg behind. And I'm gonna try and reach my chest for my thigh, trying to bring my opposite shoulder down until I get a big stretch on the outside of this hip. So right in this region on the hip that's underneath me. relaxing down into this position. If this feels pretty easy, pretty comfortable, I can start to straighten that foot back behind me. Make sure I'm turning into the stretch, not out of it. Turning into the stretch right here, using my arms to pull myself into it, getting the big stretch in the outside of that hip into our glute. Gonna spend another 90 seconds here. If even this position starts to feel comfortable, I can start to sit up a little bit and turning into it even more. Couple more deep breaths. Good. And I'm going to switch sides. Same setup, starting in our shin box, our 90-90. Folding my chest over towards my knee, getting a big stretch in the outside of that hip. If I'm getting a good stretch, I can stay here. If I need a little bit more, I can straighten that back leg, turn into the stretch a little bit more. Again, if even this starts to feel comfortable, I can sit up, twist into it just a little bit more. Good. So our last stretch, called a seated pancake. If you're a little bit tight through your groin and through your lower back, it can be helpful to sit on a box or on a cushion while you do this, just to elevate you a little bit more. Otherwise, I'm going to spread my legs as wide as I can, push my hips forward a little bit, and I'm going to reach forward as far as I can until I get a big stretch through the inside of my hips. Important to think about reaching forward and not down, and then trying to relax into this position. It's our last stretch of the day. We're gonna hang out here. Gonna spend 2 more minutes in this position. Again, this is another one to not force range. Really try and relax, focus on our breathing. We can move a little bit deeper into the stretch as we go, but trying to feel nice and comfortable in every position.
Last few breaths here.
And slowly coming back out. So great job today. Before you get back into the rest of your day, take a second, breathe, kind of reflect, notice any changes in how you feel. Thank you all for participating, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week.